that he had a phone call about 2 o'clock in 1907 in the afternoon that he'd better get home pretty fast because things were happening. So I first saw the light of day in Spring Hill, and I certainly appreciate all your coming here today. I sincerely thank you for all of the exciting remarks that you've made, and so on and so forth. And I certainly think that the price of developing film will increase that. And that afternoon it was overcast and snowing, just about like it is today. And I'll ask you to, if you can, lift your glasses and drink a toast to all of us here. We're fortunately able to be here, and here we go.
Cheers.
Toast.
Cheers. Cheers.
I'll ask you to drink a second toast for all of you, all of our people who were unable for one reason or another to be here today.
Cheers.
And especially for my sister Gwenny, who's in Sandy Cove, our blessed Sandy Cove. Yeah. So here's to all those.
Cheers.
Cheers. You're all, or most of you are saying to yourselves, how did this guy live so long? What did he do right? Well, the thing that happened to me was all the TLC that I got from my family, and I'm still getting, and for which I thank them very much. And the second thing is the medical care that our federal and provincial governments provide for those who are elderly. And you can think of Tommy Douglas, if you know who he was, and also the advances in the pharmaceutical industry, which enables me to keep going. And finally, that I was very lucky, and I still am. So, I have to tell you how I started my professional career. It was in music. I was a professional musician. I played the piano in a group of people, and when my family moved to a place called Amherst, it was 10 miles away from a theater that showed movies, of course. And I've no idea that you have any idea of the way movies were shown in those days, say 1912 or something like that. There was no television and no orchestras or anything like that. We went to the movies, and in our group of musicians, we played from a thick pile of sheet music, and one by one I played one and then to the next one. There was no relationship to what was going on in the movie, unfortunately. And so one time we made a dicker with a movie house owner in a place called Sackville, and the owner of the place said yes, he would pay us. But just at that time, there was a very famous movie called The Ten Commandments that was running around, and finally it came to a place called Sackville, where we were playing, and I was playing the piano, and the movie was about the Ten Commandments. It showed Moses coming down from the mountain with a big slab of stone on his shoulder with the commandments engraved on stone, and he was coming down the mountain. And guess what we were playing that time? Oh, the farmer, oh, the farmer. Hey ho, Farmer Gray, another load away. Well, we were fired. Because he thought we had done that purposely. he was a man, I suppose, about 61, and we called him Old Air. So Old Air let us go. We were fired. We were sacked in Sackville. That was the end of my musical career. So I switched to chemistry. Now let's see here now. 100 rules to live for 100 years. I have here a few notes. And I tell you that I got this from my cardiologist. And I'll read them to you. Let's see what you think about it. Of course, they don't apply to me because I'm finished. I'm more than 100, so they only apply to you. The first one is no smoking. Well, we all know that. Second one is enjoy yourself. Well, that's not difficult. Look for rainbows. All that suggests you can use your own imagination. And oh yes, there's number 4 here, skinny dipping. Well, I really haven't got much to say about that. All right, watch what you say. That's pretty handy too sometimes.
Sometimes.
Oh, here's one. Make time for your children. Drink lots of water. That'll happen often. And finally, marry your sweetheart.
Aww.
Well,
Boy or girl?
no, I want to draw this to a close. I want to start. I just want to sort of get sentimental. I hope you'll forgive me. I know I'm pretty old, and you might consider me to be quite sentimental. I want to tell you a little story about a couple of friends that I had some time ago. One was named Marie, and the other one was named William. They had just got into bed, and William, or I'll call him Bill, she sometimes muttered Willie, but he was very sleepy, and as soon as he got into bed he went to sleep. So in a few minutes Marie said to her, Bill, do you remember when you used to hold my hand before we went to sleep? And he sort of grunted and rolled over and held her hand, and immediately rolled back again and went to sleep. He's a very, very sleepy guy, especially this night. And in a few minutes more, she woke him up again and said, Bill, do you remember when you used to kiss me goodnight every night before you went to sleep? And he rolled over and gave her a peck on the cheek and then rolled back again, went sound asleep. And in a few minutes more, she woke him up again. She said, Bill, do you remember you used to nibble my ear before we went to sleep? And to her amazement, he threw back the covers and hopped out of bed very quickly, which alarmed her. So she said to him, Bill, what are you after? What's the matter? And he said, I'm looking for my teeth. I guess I'll call tonight. I congratulate you all for laughing here.
You're romantic, eh?
So there you are, and I thank you for helping me off on my second 100-year stint.